All right. We are live. Woo! Happy Christmas week. My throat's a little scratchy, so I've got a throat drop in my mouth. So if that's super annoying, throw up your hand in the comment and say, Cameron, take that out. That's really annoying. Because that's where I'm at today. Happy Tuesday. Christmas is 2 days away. And honestly, this is one of my favorite weeks of the year. I'm curious if you actually have a tradition. I love learning about what others do to kind of celebrate the season. I was talking to my son the other day, and his girlfriend, their family always give advent calendars. We never did advent calendars. I think sometimes if I saw one like at Costco that was cool, I think we did like a Lego one. I thought that was cool. But her family, each kid gets an advent calendar for December. And I was like, gosh, that's a really cool idea. So I'm curious. Leave a comment below. What was your favorite like tradition that you did during the season? Our twins' birthday is actually on Christmas Eve. So that's probably one of our biggest traditions. We celebrate them all day. Adam makes an awesome dinner, and then we drive around and look at lights, and it's just, we watch Christmas movies, Christmas Eve night, and it's just a fun thing that we do every year. It really started off that we actually didn't do any Christmas things with the twins because we wanted them to feel like this is your birthday. We didn't want it to be overshadowed by Christmas. Now they're older, and so we do kind of put Christmas stuff in there. So anyways, it's always fun. Indy is officially in full sparkle mode. The fairgrounds, Newfields, the zoo, Carter Prairie, there are tons of ways that you can go see Indy sparkle. So we're going to talk about that. This is, I just totally spit. Apparently, when you have a throat drop in your mouth, you're just going to spit everywhere. So if all of a sudden you just see just water flying across the screen, I'm really sorry. This is our last live of the year. And so we're excited to see what 2026 brings. We're always trying to do new things and try to figure things out. The other day, I actually thought maybe I should switch things up and do kind of the data first. So I'm curious, are you a data person like me? Do you want to know the stats of the market first and then what's going on? We always started it with like kind of telling you what fun is happening or what's coming to the area first and then kind of getting into the data. So I'm curious. If you're new here, I'm Cameron Giesman, your local real estate agent and kind of hype girl, I guess that's what you could call it. I tried to give you all of the information of Hamilton County and kind of tell you what's going on. Today, we're going to talk about the lights, holiday cheer. Then we're going to pivot because the housing market decided to make some headlines again. We're going to talk about renting versus buying because that's getting super interesting. And then August literally saw the highest number of canceled contract since tracking it back in 2017. So yes, we're going to break down what that actually means here locally without kind of the doom scrolling, because I feel like you can get into that. So grab your coffee or your ginormous Owala, because you guys, Target had a sale. Look, I'm putting it in front of my face because I'm trying to switch screens. Target had these special colors. If you know me, you know I love gold. It's one of my favorite colors. I was really excited when gold was coming back from a fixture standpoint in houses. So gold is back. This is the Owala. They also had like green and red metallic and rose gold. So if you're an Owala person, cheers. Grab your water because that's what I've got today. Coffee, tea, cocoa. And let's dive into what's happening here on the Hamcoat roundabout here in Hamilton County, Indiana. Okay. So first up, we are going to talk. Also, I forgot. Put a comment below on where you're watching from. I like to see where people are watching from. We've actually had quite a few people that are not in Indiana, which of course, with it kind of being a relocation channel, we get a lot of people that aren't from Indy or have ever even been to Indy or Indiana. And so tell me where you're from. But we're going to jump in first and we're going to talk about Christmas lights because let's be honest, what else are you going to be doing? You're either cooking, you're packing, you're still shopping. Adam and I were joking the other day because we feel like we're literally spending there. He saw this meme that like every day you spend like $300. It's because you forget. Like the other day I was like, oh crap, I forgot I haven't got this, or I've got to go get this. And I talked to my sister the other day and we've got to go get this. And it's like every day we're spending so much money. Oh, this season, it's a love-hate relationship. I love it, but at the same time, and funny enough, okay, here in Indiana, to give you a little bit of what's going on here locally, a few weeks ago, we did a live and it was like dumping snow, which we normally don't really ever get snow in November. And then now today, even though I'm wearing my sweater weather, I thought I was going to be really sweater weather. I thought I was going to be like nice and cozy. I'm like sweating, you guys, because it's 56 degrees outside right now, and it's supposed to be 58 on Christmas. That is ridiculous. There is a guy that we watch, the Weather Channel. His name's Max. Max what? It's like Max Velocity. You would think that I would remember that. Anyways, Max Velocity. If you want to follow the weather, honestly, we're kind of dorks about it. He is the best. He's not a weather station. He's a YouTube channel. Funny enough, go YouTube, and he crushes it. Like he really, for the most part, more than even news people, gives more of a clear expectation of what weather's doing. So anyways, we're going to have one of the hottest winter days we've ever had. So sweater weather, but I'm sweating. It's like it's the, what's her name? Michelle Shannon. That's not what it is. Just ignore me. But anyways, Molly Shannon, where I don't even know if that's who does it. That does she's the cheerleader. Okay. Anyways, blast from the past. I love that part. Okay. So if I'm like, I like have a throat drop in my mouth, I'm sweating. It's a good day. Fun times. Okay. Christmas lights. You're like, Cameron, get off with it. Okay. Christmas lights. I love Christmas lights. We're going to start with the paid version. So there's quite a few different locations that I absolutely love. First off, the zoo has Christmas at the zoo. So it actually goes past Christmas, which is really great. So if you are, busy and can't go during like before Christmas, it's great. The zoo's got you. I love zoo in the wintertime. It's really fun to go. But where wild meets holiday wonder, you can go. There's Santa's village. There's lights all around. The animals, some of the animals are out because they like the cooler weather. I think today I feel like all of the animals will be out because it's 56 degrees. Anyways, okay. So the zoo. Then you have the Christmas nights of lights at the fairgrounds. So the Indianapolis State Fairgrounds, those are great. You sit in your car and you drive through. Sorry, my eye is itching. So that's a really great one. We've done that one with the kids. Absolutely love. You can kind of see. And I will put in the comments below when this posts, or Adam, if you can work on actually posting that as a comment, but he'll put the link for each one of these that I'm mentioning. So the first one was the zoo. The second one was the fairgrounds. It's all in the link also, Adam. If you go to to our links page, you can find it there too. Then you've got Conner Prairie. which Conner Prairie is one of my favorites, partially because there's a lot of nostalgia. So a lot of the lights that are at Conner Prairie used to be owned by Reynolds Farm Equipment. So back in the day, Reynolds actually outside of their building would put up all these Christmas lights. It would be free, so you could drive through, and it's really cool. Well, all of those lights got donated to Conner Prairie, so you can kind of go and walk again tonight and tomorrow night. Because it's going to be so warm, you don't have to like be freezing. We as a family went to Chris Kindle Market when it was like 22 degrees. Don't always recommend it. It was freezing cold. Our kids, we told them to double and triple their socks. They didn't listen, and so they were freezing cold. So this is Conner Prairie. Then another great one here locally is Newfields, which is winter lights presented by Bank of America, which is also another amazing, that's a walking tour. So it's not driving, you're walking through everything. So you would have to buy tickets. Those are also advanced tickets. So you want to make sure that you get those. Some nights honestly do sell out. They've added nights over the years, which is really nice. So you have Newfields. And then the last, so those were the 4 paid ones that are kind of the big ones in the area. There are other small ones that you can go to. But the last one I'm going to bring up is you go to indiewithkids.com/Christmas lights list. Indiana, like there's this big list. We will post it. But this is a phenomenal site. The reason I say that is I've wanted this. I have thought about putting something together like this for a very long time, but it is very complicated. So I wanted to show it to you. So one of the things we like to do is drive around the area to see lights. Now in Fishers, because I'm familiar with that one, if you go to like Fishers Chatter, they have a designated Fishers version of this. But if you don't live in Fishers and say you're wanting to be in Carmel or Noblesville or Sheridan or Westfield, you can go to the Christmas lights list for Indianapolis and Central Indiana, and you can pick literally your zones. You can pick Marion County, you can pick Hamilton County, you can pick Johnson, Hendricks, all of them. And then as you scroll down, you can put together a route. So you can see, you can view where it's at and the details, right? It tells you what kind it is. So it's a free display, it's residential, it's a drive-by, there's inflatable and blow molds, there's static and traditional. So like other features, if it's to music, if it's whatever. So let's say, okay, oh, I want to see this one. You like that one. You can go back and you can add it to the route. You then could go back to where, let me go back to, and let's say, oh, well, I also really want to go to this one, right? So like, again, what I would do if it were me, I would click Hamilton County, and I live in Fishers, so I would click just Fishers. So now it's showing just Fishers ones. I would pick which ones. You can even restrict it. So let's say, so that's the city filters, but let's say I want paid free. Let me update the results. Let's see if it goes. There it goes. Okay. I can, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry, you guys. Okay, so if I pick Hamilton County and I pick Fishers as my only location, and then I can update the results, and then I can add this one. I know where that one is. Let's say I know where that one is. That's the Merry Prairie Christmas. But anyways, I can add these to the route, right? Which is really great. And they have, like, again, they go all the way down and all of these different lights. And it tells you, like, we like ones that have music to them so that when we get there, we can actually like sit and sing and whatever. So you can add those all to your route. I'm not seeing. am I not seeing the route button? Well, yesterday when I was doing this, there was a maybe it's because it's not full. Paying fishers. I don't know where to find the route, you guys. I told you all about this, and then now I'm not seeing where. No, that's not it. Well, you guys, it's not as navigate now. Okay. So when you navigate now, it'll start you at where, like, essentially where you, the houses that you've picked, and it maps them out. Like, I don't have my location on here, but I could add it, and then I could go to each one of the houses, right? So because it's added them, and I think you can add, at least in Google Maps, you can add 10 locations. So this is just a great way to kind of plan out where do you want to go so that when you get in the car, you know where you're going, versus for many years, honestly, we get in the car and you literally just drive around trying to find houses. So it's just something fun to do this winter and to kind of have like in the evening. We will get like hot chocolate and sit in the car. Some families will like grab dinner, like they'll stop at all the different places where their kids want to get dinner and all that. So anyways, just a fun addition and a way to find where all of those Christmas lights are. So there you go. Apparently all you do is click navigate now. I thought it was something different. Okay. So that's the Christmas lights. We're going to shift gears. We're going to go away from Christmas and we're going to go into kind of like everything that's going on. The big news right now is that Grand Park is among 62 sites vying to host the World Cup, which World Cup team base camps. This is huge because Grand Park is really kind of making a name for itself, and it's really great. And to be able to have that here in our backyard, I'm just going to say it would be amazing. I would be so excited. So Indianapolis might have missed out on the chance to host a match during the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup, but that doesn't necessarily mean Central Indiana will be sitting on the sidelines during the month-long tournament across North America next summer. Westfield's Grand Park Sports Campus is one of 62 sites the 48 participating national teams can choose as a base camp for the tournament's initial rounds. The authorized facilities, some of which might house multiple teams, will serve as a home away from home for sorts during the World Cup group competition stage, in which 12 groups will each contain 4 teams that will play each other to determine which countries advance to the first knockout round. Now, here's the thing. This is kind of the first steps, right? Like, I feel like anytime you have something like this, the World Cups aren't here per se, but to have the teams here, and then let's say the teams then say that it was such a great experience and the facilities were really good and the fields were great and all that, that is going to get the kind of buzz going, so that maybe down the road at some point in time the World Cup could actually be held here. Would that not be amazing? Anyways, I got really excited when I saw that, partially because we are huge soccer fans. So any of you soccer fans out there, if that's something that you enjoy and would like to kind of like, so football, they do the combine, like trying to come up with the words. That is something that is done at Grand Park. And so it's one of those where it's like, okay, can we have where we can have teams here? And if those teams are here, they're probably going to hold events, and then our kids can go see some of these professional soccer players. So Indiana has actually, it's been interesting over the last couple of years. Indianapolis is really coming along as a sports hub for major sports teams and or secondary. So, you know, sometimes you have to start with getting kind of the major teams, and now we're getting a lot of the secondary sports teams, which are huge. And so it's something to be able to have as like a growing as we go along. And so yeah, it's really fun. I was really excited about that. So okay. Next on the docket is north of, there's buildings popping up everywhere. And I saw a building pop up in Hamilton Town Center. And so like you, I'm sure you're kind of questioning, what is that going to be? And that is north of 96th Street. Kittles is planning a 20 million showroom. Now, they announced this back in October of 2024. So we're now a year later, and the building is going up. It actually looks like this. It honestly is a really beautiful building. Indianapolis-based Kittles Furniture plans to build a 50,000 square foot furniture and design center at the southwest corner of East 141st Street and Cabela Parkway in Noblesville, just west of Hamilton Town Center. If you're from here, most of the furniture stores, like we have a couple, but for the most part, you're driving to Castleton or Keystone for some of those bigger furniture places. And so it's kind of nice to see that those furniture places are coming into the suburbs and giving opportunities for people to explore, not have to drive as far. So really excited about that. I think that it's going to be a great addition. There's a lot of land that's around Hamilton County, around Hamilton County. I sound like a country girl. And so there is a lot of potential for companies to come in. And so Kittles is one of them. I see a comment. Somebody said, you're literally talking to nobody. You're right. I'm not talking to nobody though. I'm actually talking to you because you're watching. But on the flip side, a lot of people watch these, you know, this is at 2:00 on a Tuesday. I know it's not always the most ideal time. But it really works for our schedule. And a lot of people watch the videos after the fact so that they can kind of learn the information at their own pace. And so that's the beauty of like a podcast or a YouTube video. You can watch it or listen to it at any point in time. So even though, yes, it's live, I do them live. So you can kind of, it's kind of off the spur. You're getting who I am. You can kind of learn about me and learn, well, not really learn about me, but you can kind of hear me where it's not scripted. Some of the stuff that we do is scripted, right? And so I just kind of like to have a different style for those like you. Apparently you're a nobody because you said I'm talking to nobody, but you're on here. So thanks for watching live. Okay. Next up is a construction, another conversation about construction. The word on the street, so many people were questioning, is Kroger, is Meijer, is Target, are all of these things going to happen? And as of right now, Kroger is half built on 146th Street. Meijer, that is off of Southeastern Parkway, is under construction, and they're saying Target is still coming. So that is great news. I'm really excited. Again, this is all of those companies that are, you know, branching out, going further into the suburbs. It's getting closer. I think some of the times, like when I talk to people that are purchasing, let's say in Pendleton or some of these even further outskirts, it's getting closer to them, which is nice. Pendleton actually has a Meijer, but this is just so that you don't have to drive as far, go all the way into Noblesville, or have to go all the way to like almost Indianapolis or 96th Street for a Meijer. So it's just another location, so you don't have to drive as far. So construction is continued on a pair of major retail stores that could open in the next year on the east side of Fishers. They estimated the Meijer grocery store and gas station is about 6 to 12 months from opening. And then Target is 12 to 18 months. Midwest retail giant Meyer Inc. is building its medium format Meyer grocery on the north side of the roundabout at Cynthian Road and Southeastern Parkway. The location is Fishers, is about 3 miles from Fortville to Hancock County and 6 miles from Ingalls to Madison County. I actually think this is a really great location. It's funny because the owner of that land for the longest time said he would never sell. And sure enough, here we are. He's selling, which I think is great. And I think it's a great location for that Meyer. The Meyer will be the company's second medium format grocery store in Hamilton County. The company opened a 90,000 square foot Meyer grocery last year on Promenade Sports Boulevard in Noblesville. Then if we go down, while traditional Meyer supermarkets average 150 to 250 square feet, the chain's new line of grocery stores are between 75 and 90. So great. Target is building 148 square foot, so almost twice the size, square foot store in the East Fishers, not far from Hamilton Town Center on 21.8 acres at Interstate 69 and Exit 210, north of East 136th Street, east of Minden, Minden Drive, south of Southeastern Parkway and west of North Oleo. The store will feature a dedicated drive-up order location, extensive native landscaping, and an improved pedestrian experience, according to the city. Target's other store in Fishers is at 116th Street and 69. This is what I was interested in. I think a lot of people in Fishers have been interested about this because I think it's the buzz. Is it the same type of Target? Is it a different type of Target? Is it a smaller Target? Is it a bigger Target? Target stores average 125 square feet, according to the company. In 2023, the company opened 3 stores, averaging 135 square feet in Yonkers, New York, New Caney, Texas, and Proper, Texas. So here's my question. I tried to find the information. I still don't have the information. I searched for a long time. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I couldn't figure out how big the super Target is in the current location off of 116th Street. They're saying this Target is 148,000 square feet. I don't think that it's larger than that. And so I'm curious if anybody out there knows, because the word on the street is it's not going to be a super Target, which I understand because they're really not that far apart. Like from driving from one to the other, honestly, is about a 5 to 10 minute drive if you're driving down 69. I'm surprised they didn't put it further down 69. But I mean, I also understand they're wanting it to be around everything else, right? So it's strategic. But I'm curious if it's going to be a super Target or another concoction that they're doing. A couple other things. Slapfish is now open. Vicious Biscuit is open. We've talked about both of these on our channel in another episode. Adventure, no. The gaming, I can't think of it. Activate. There it is. Activate's open. So if you're wanting indoor activities to do when it's cold, but it's not really cold, it is open now. So all these things, I'm excited. The Proper Stitch in Carmel's open. There's a bridal store. I'm not really familiar with that. Interestingly enough, it's at the Hamilton Town Center. That's kind of exciting. But so those are the things that are at this point in time happening in Hamilton County. If you have any questions about any of those things, let us know. And we're going to keep trucking along. So, interestingly enough, we got voted in as one of the 250 best places to retire in the U.S. in 2026. And so I was a little bit surprised by this information, partially because when you think of retirement, a lot of people, as you can see, as I'm scrolling through this, and I probably should kind of slow down, you see like Florida's and Texas's, there's a couple Michigans, but Florida is like a normal place. We actually have a lot of people that retire from here and go to Florida because they're tired of the cold winters. So That is a normal transition. But I was surprised to scroll, and Fishers, Indiana came in at number 23 of a best place to retire. Now, interestingly enough, I think that when you look at the data, I think they're saying that because of the price. It's, fairly affordable. You're close to everything. There's hospitals. So the accessibility to things is really, really great, which I think this is really annoying me. By the way, you guys, I like symmetry. And when I look at stuff, I feel like it's like off. Is that straight? Okay. I know. I'm a weirdo with stuff like that. Okay. So Fishers made 23. Greenwood, Indiana, shockingly made 27. I will say Fishers compared to Greenwood, they are definitely different areas or communities. I'm not going to say that Greenwood isn't good. They just don't have the ecosystem and the amount of amenities that I think that Hamilton County has. But we have family that live in Greenwood, so congratulations to Greenwood. You normally don't see Greenwood on a list. Noblesville came in at 29, and then Carmel came in at 32. I don't think I saw Westfield on here. Yeah. So 3 out of the 4 in Hamilton County. Again, make another list. If you're retiring, this is great. A couple weeks ago, we talked about the community that they are building in Carmel that is essentially for this, where you can retire and live in a condo and be right by downtown. We're seeing a lot more 55 and older communities that are popping up, either rental properties, facilities. Like we're actually also seeing a lot more with care for older age diseases like Alzheimer's, dementia, all those. So we're seeing facilities that are popping up for that. And I think the baby boomers are finally starting to see the properties that they can move into. So exciting news there. Again, shocked by Greenwood and kind of shocked by 3 for retirement. It's not what I would have presumed. But go Hamilton County. Super excited about that. Okay, next up on the docket, 140. There's been a lot of talk here in Fishers, Indiana about an intersection that is quite dangerous. There have been many accidents, partially because it's almost like a blind turn, and 116th Street is a very busy road. And there is a neighborhood that is right here that would typically have, like, there's no stoplight. So Fishers Board finally okays a stoplight at 116th Street for Spyglass Falls neighborhood. Spyglass, if you call me and you say, what is one of your favorite neighborhoods? Spyglass is such a great neighborhood. It literally is in a phenomenal location, close to so much stuff. But I will tell you, if you are trying to turn left out of that neighborhood, it is a nightmare. They looked at a roundabout. They looked at directing the traffic to a different way, the cost and everything. Ultimately, they decided on a stoplight. So a new stoplight will be installed on 116th Street at Klotz Farm Boulevard, the only entry and exit point for the Spyglass Falls neighborhood residents, following a unanimous vote on December 19th by the Fishers Board of Public Works and Safety. The stoplight might be installed by the end of 2026, depending on funding availability. Otherwise, it will be included in the budget for 2027. So it's coming. You're just going to have to wait. Like everything, it takes forever to get anything done. But that was something it was a big debacle. Everybody was talking about it. I have to admit, I felt bad for anybody. I almost feel like if you lived in that neighborhood, you should just turn right and then turn left, and then you'd have to kind of do but it was a pain in the ass, like not ideal. And 116th Street is really busy. So for all my Spyglass Falls fans and owners, congratulations, you're getting a light. And that's what we need, is another light on 116th Street to slow us all down. It's not ideal, you guys, but I feel bad for the community because it really, like when I show houses in there and somebody's following me, it's literally, like I almost get anxiety trying to pull out and be like, okay, can they follow me? Like it's but it's going to be fixed. Okay, so it's been real interesting. So I've been following a lot on like what is going on with the economy and where is next year heading and what does it look like for 2026. And if you kind of read all of the news articles and the projections, they are saying 2026 is going to be an amazing year. One of the things that I found really interesting was this article that I read on the NAR, which was exploring housing affordability, where mortgage payments are cheaper than rent across the US. And so because we were in a time period where that wasn't the case, right? Rents were almost getting to the point where they were more expensive than a house. And that's a dangerous spot to be, because I think when rents are more expensive in the sense that there's a lot of people that can't own, and rent just goes out the door. And so and in many ways, a mortgage can be more but less. If you have questions about that and want to explore like what it looks like for you, then let's sit down and have a conversation. But this was very interesting because I feel like it's a shift, because the data is kind of changing. So it's no secret that housing prices have surged substantially across much of the country over the past 5 years. At the same time, rental rates have also climbed, transforming renting from a cost-saving step toward homeownership into a financial necessity for many households, making it increasingly difficult to save for a down payment. I mean, you guys, renters almost really couldn't. I have a close friend who is renting, and they have tried so much. Like, it is the season that we're in right now, it's really tough to rent and save enough money to buy. Like, it's just difficult. So, in fact, according to the 2025 profile of home buyers and sellers, 49% of first-time buyers who found saving for a down payment to be the most difficult part of the home buying process said that high rent made it harder to save. To better understand where homeownership may still be attainable, we wanted to identify areas where monthly mortgage payments are lower than rent. And so they analyzed 250 metropolitan areas and looked at where mortgages are different, right? And so this is kind of the Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana Valley. I feel like I just heard the weather guy talking, because he calls it the Ohio Valley. You can kind of see, that the mortgage payment of $1,686 is actually less than the fair market rent for a 3-bedroom, which is $1,785. It's a $99 difference. And so if you're renting and trying to save, it's really tough. It's almost like you have to like get a smaller place and try to do all the things. And so I'm hoping that next year this will shift and we will see a difference, because you can see in other areas where it actually is cheaper. Like in Tennessee, there's a lot of different areas down in this area that are cheaper. And then you have the blue and red. I was kind of in California. I mean, look at that. Like, that is a $1,400. It's a $6,537 difference. You guys, who has that? What in the heck? Anyways, that cough drop just went down my throat. That was fun. Did you see me almost have like, I almost just died. That was funny. Okay. Oh, joys of live video. Okay. So anyways, I just found it really interesting to kind of see the differences and where things are shift. I like to keep an eye on this. I'm curious for those that are looking to move here. We have talked to a lot of people who have said, "Hey, we want to rent for, let's say, a year." But then they start looking at rental costs and they realize they might as well just buy, keep the house for a little bit and sell it. I'm not going to go into it a lot right now because I want to save it for some of the topics over the next few weeks. But it has been interesting to kind of see what the appreciation has been, how the market is moving, because everybody is saying 2026, we're actually going to start to see some change, which I can't wait because you guys, it's just been tough. Part of the toughness is this right here. Redfin put out a thing that roughly 56,000 home purchase agreements were canceled in August, equal to 15.1% of homes that went under contract that month, the highest August percentage in records dating back to 2017. You guys, that is wild news, right? To have that many people go under contract and cancel. And I said this over the last few months. If you've watched many of my lives, I've said this multiple times. I've been shocked at how many people write an offer and cancel it. And I think it was the environment of 2021, 22, 23, that whole like they had to make a decision and they had to make it real fast. And so people were still doing that, but yet then they were realizing, oh, maybe I don't need to do this. And so then they're having to pull back. And so when I saw this, I was floored. That is a 15% is, in my mind, through the roof. Like that is a lot of people that think that they're going to sell their house and then their buyer backs out or whatever, for whatever reason, right? Because it's not just that. There's a lot of different reasons. I think that a portion of that probably could have even been that people thought that they could qualify, but then the rates didn't change or they didn't go lower or they ended up going higher and then they couldn't afford the house. And people push themselves to the limit when it comes to financing. And so that plays into this whole equation of where people were and what that looks like. And so I just found it really interesting. So this kind of shows you, you know, in 2017, it was 11% and it has just increased year over year, 22, 23, 24, but like a whole percentage jump. Like that's a big jump, especially since we had such low inventory. We really didn't have that many houses. To then have that many cancellations is wild, in my opinion. So I think that definitely was felt here locally. We did not hit the full 15%, but you still felt it. We talked to agents all the time that were feeling the pain of like listing a home and then having it not go anywhere. And so that is definitely a challenge of dealing with what that looks like. So no fun whatsoever. Here locally, let's talk about some data. You know, I like my data. And so let's talk about what's going on here locally. So oh, look at that. I can make it look bigger. There we go. That way you can kind of see it a little bit better. I typically talk Hamilton County. Today we're going to talk Indianapolis because I do know that there's a portion of viewers that watch our channel that really want to know about Indianapolis. I know a lot about Indianapolis. We do sell in Indianapolis, but Indianapolis is such a big area. So when you look at the chart behind or the diagram behind me, when I talk about Marion County, it's everything inside that loop plus outside the loop. So that's the thing. Like there's a portion outside of that big circle that you see behind my head that includes Marion County. So when I say like a couple weeks ago, when I said there were like 200 and some houses that were for sale in Carmel, in Indianapolis currently, there are 2,000, let me go to my cheat sheet, 2,243 active houses. Okay. So that's a lot of houses. Now it's down from where it had been. Our numbers are down in general. So 2 weeks ago, we were at over 7,000. We're currently now at 6,349 total, but Indianapolis, Marion County has 2,243. Okay. So when I look at that, currently right now, the median is 305, which is down. The closed sales are 2,428, which is down 19%. So I bet part of that 15%, which again, we didn't hit 15%, but days on market is increasing 30% because last month it was 23 days. So to go from 23 to 30 days, that's a decent jump. So we are seeing that slowdown, which is, in my opinion, I'm okay with it. I actually think it's okay. List price 97.5%. So we're still holding tight there. That's pretty good. That's showing the value, right? New listings is down 33%. So we went from October of having 3,700 listings to now having 25. Again, totally normal. We normally drop. That is not an abnormal number. We drop because of the holiday season. Everybody's like, I don't want to sell in the winter months or during the holidays. I get it, you guys. I'm so busy right now. If you actually said, Cameron, let's move, like I get it. My brain probably would explode because I help people all we closed 3 the last couple weeks. So I get it. Like clients are moving during the crazy months. Inventory is down, active inventory. So you can see there, and our months of supply is increasing. We're seeing more of a normal market at 2.9. I'm not going to go into Hamilton County because we'll do that in January. So I can see December numbers, but I at least wanted to show you Indianapolis numbers. And then like always at the end of our show, I like to show you just what can you get for the house. Funny enough, the first one I popped it up. I usually look at this data the day before. I had to show some houses today. And so I didn't get into the office. And the house that I wanted to show you, it was on the market for 4 days. It went pending. So I'm not going to show you this house. It was a cute little house. I really liked it. It was at that average price point of that 245 for Indianapolis. But this shows you, and the reason I'm at least still showing it to you, is because houses are still going. There still are houses that are in that affordable range in Indianapolis in a great location. And it was on the market for 4 days and still sold. So homes are still moving quickly. I want to be very transparent. There are also houses that are not moving quickly. And so that's what we see with what's going on in this marketplace. Not anymore can you say, my house is great and it's going to sell. But houses that are great are still selling. So we walk through all of that with our clients. I kind of give a roadmap of, okay, we do kind of a low, mid, and high so that you can kind of know what that process is going to look like for you. Because at the end of the day, every house is different and your pain point is different from somebody else's. And that's really what we're trying to solve and or help with is what is your situation so that like for this one, it went quickly, but this easily could have priced higher and sat because we're seeing a lot of that as well. Then I went to kind of the mid-range. Indianapolis is an interesting beast because, like I said, there's over 2,000 homes that are listed. There are homes that are, I'm not going to say tear down, but are in pretty disarray. I think the least expensive house I saw was like in the 60,000 range, but nobody would live in that house. It would need to be tore down or completely gutted and redone, which there's a lot of investment opportunities here in Indianapolis. But then you have a lot of that like 2 to 5 to 7 range. There's lots in the 2 to 4 range. And then if you're in the Meridian Kessler or some of those higher end areas, you have a lot more that are in the million, which we're going to show you because I think a lot of people literally get shocked when they hear that there are homes in inner city Indianapolis that are priced really high. This house, super cute. I love Kessler Boulevard. If you're from here and you say Kessler, everybody knows where Kessler Boulevard is. It is a phenomenal location, a well-known area. A lot of people also really like being around there specifically because of the schools that are around there. There are public and private. And so you can kind of pick and choose where you want to go. I love the stone that looks like Indiana limestone. I'm a sucker for Indiana limestone. It is just iconic. It looks really good. It's timeless and is a great property. And so on the outside, to the inside. You can see kind of a little bit of a difference, but yet it's a little bit modernized. You've got the parquet floor, which I love. They kept kind of that vintage, but yet brightened it up with the bright whites. Those beautiful open windows, kind of, I'm going to say this isn't a mid-century modern, but like a mid-century modern style with the open windows that bring in all of the natural light and kind of the vibe. Has a little bit of that. Clearly, you can tell the kitchen has been updated with, a solid surface countertop, granite or Corian quartz, and then cabinets that are not to the time period of when this house was built, but it's, updated and open, which is really nice. Again, the windows with even the skylight windows, which that definitely mid-century modern feel or style. Love the stone inside with the fireplace. You kind of have the vintage wood office. They kept some of the tile, which I absolutely love. So that maroon with gray tile. I can't tell if it's really been redone or if it's original, because a lot of people are actually bringing that back, which is really fun to see. Kind of full circle come back. Great room sizes, which is really great. And it all looks fresh. Look at that. Then you've got the peach bathroom, which is really great. A nice back patio, screen-in patio basement that looks like it's functional. Great for storage. A lot of times in this era, I kind of say they're more like dungeons, but clearly this is nice and clean. Your washer and dryer downstairs, and then you've got a fenced-in backyard space. So this was really great. I loved the feel of it. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,500 square foot property. Just has a lot of potential, which I really love. And then wanted to show you, this is Westfield Boulevard, and it is right on Kessler Boulevard. Some people would say, I don't like that, but look how close it is to the tracks, so that it's really nice to be able to jump on public transportation, which you don't always have that in Hamilton County. So great location. Close to a lot of shopping and dining in kind of the Broad Ripple, Meridian Kessler area. You would drive around this area and absolutely love it. It's just, it's quaint and nice, and it's just really, really great. Last but not least is this beaut. She's $6,000. I can't even talk. She's $6,950,000. In Indianapolis. Didn't know this existed. I think it's interesting when Ursay's house went on the market and some of these higher end, more profile styled properties hit the market. I think you're seeing now some of these people be willing to sell their higher end properties, which is really nice. The architecture of this home, I swoon over, because it's absolutely stunning. And again, in another great location, which I'll show you location here in a minute. But I mean, can we just love the entryway of this house and the wood and the warmth of the texture? I mean, you can have a party here, and there's plenty of places for them to go. The arched doorways, or arched windows, all of that is coming back. I do wish that they had descriptions, because I have a feeling with this house, there's probably multiple kitchens and or dining rooms. If you like wine, there's a massive wine room. Anyways, this was just stunning. I thought it was a gorgeous, gorgeous property. You have to like this vibe, right? It's kind of like a moody, dark, vibe. It's not bright whites. I think we're going to actually see a lot more of this style in more of your cookie cutter styled properties. The reason I say that is because I think color drenching and bringing color into spaces is coming back. You're not going to see white on white on white on white. I think ultimately at this point it is going out, and so I think you're going to see more of this. So anyways, great property. I mean, look at this. You're in Indianapolis, but do you even see? I mean, I see Indianapolis, but I know what I'm looking for. If you're living in, like, you don't even really see Indianapolis, like, you're hidden in the woods. And so let me show you one of the things that I usually try to show you is location. So this is down a quiet, let's see, I don't know if you could tell, it's a little quiet cul-de-sac along Williams Creek, which is really popular. This is Spring Mill, so this is Meridian. If you visit Indianapolis or visit this area, I always tell you to go down Meridian because it's one of the prettiest streets in Indiana, with the houses. But you wouldn't see this house. This essentially $7 million house you wouldn't even see because it's hidden back, but it's in a great location because this is Meridian. You've got Keystone. So the Keystone Mall is here. And then you've got Michigan, and there's a lot of shopping here. You're still close to Zionsville for going to downtown Zionsville. You are just a short jaunt to Broad Ripple, which is a really fun area, and then down to downtown Indianapolis. I tried to keep northern properties within our search here today. And then you're close to Carmel. So it's a great location. You're still Indianapolis. And the schools that are around it are really great, but yet you're closer to downtown if you work downtown or have something. And so also, I just like to show really bougie, fun houses because I think most people don't know that we even have something like this in Indiana. Like, this is in downtown Indianapolis. And so it's just fun. You know what I mean? Like, it's just fun. So anyways, that's the show. You guys, Christmas is in 2 days. Let me remove that. I can't believe it's in 2 days. Again, leave a comment with your favorite tradition. I like to learn about people's traditions. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, we should try that this year. I'm actually excited as my kids get older and they meet their significant others or whatever to determine what their traditions are. It's funny. We have some things that we do within the family that I never really even realized was a tradition. Like, my kids last year said one of their favorite things, and I didn't do this on purpose. It was kind of like a fluke, but before they come down Christmas morning, they have to sit at the top of the stairs, and I have to take pictures of the 3 of them. And then I take a video of them running down the stairs, and they're teenagers now. And you would think that that's not like, come on, mom, but they actually like doing it. And so it's really fun to kind of see them like that tradition or that joy. So anyways, what's your tradition? Leave a comment below. Thanks for hanging out with us and enjoying today's Hamco Roundabout, where we talked about lights, camera action. No, lights, rents, and locations, things that are coming to Indy. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, like I said, you can also, or if you want to set up a Zoom where we talk about what you have going on, or if you have any questions, we can do a live Zoom. I love meeting new people and telling you why we love Hamilton County so much, because it's so cool. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I am available. It's one of those where, yes, it's Christmas, but I still answer my phone. So we're here if you need anything. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me for an hour while I ramble and talk to no one. All right. You guys all have a great one, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.